So another week close to this basketball season coming to an end. I think we're all almost ready for it to be done with. I think that it's better than last year for sure, but right now we're just, I'll get to it in a moment. Past Tuesday at Colorado State, the Bulldogs lost 74-70 after having a lead as big as 13 points, and for as long as 28 minutes. But, Zayon Collins had another injury hit. But even if he hadn't gone out, I think they would have still blown the game. This is a team that just does not know how to hold on to big leads. And I think now mentally, they believe they're going to lose when they have those kind of leads. It's just happened so many times now. It's just human nature where you're waiting for the loss to happen. You're just, and I think I mentioned in the last video that for whatever reason, Colorado State's not a place that the Bulldogs win at. I mean, Steve Cleveland and Rodney Terry were the only guys who could coach a Fresno State basketball team to a win, which I find very odd, but it is what it is. I'll give a recap. As it was, the Bulldogs again started hot. Yeah. I mean, they were up as a team. They shot 47% from the field, 8 of 21 from the 3-point line. Rams at 45% from the field, 9 of 29 for the 3-point line, 17 of the free throws. We were up about 26-15, and then near the half. I mean, it really has come down to how they. To me, all year long, it's been they've just not been able to close down halves. Rams right before it went on a 9-0 run for halftime. We were ahead 39-32, and then right out of halftime, they went 7-0 to make it tied, and that was all she wrote. This was just, it's a very similar story. Another player gets hurt, you have a big lead, you lose them. I mean, it just is what it is in this team. And this is one reason why I think that regardless of what happens with Wahlberg, he's probably going to be back. But he's got to change his strength and conditioning program somehow. He should be doing that right now with this coaching staff. He should be going, okay, how do we change this so this doesn't happen again, because my job is on the line next year if we don't have a good team. I think if Vance is around, he's supposed to have a lot of NIL money. He's supposed to have coming in, but we'll see. And and that led to the game on Saturday, which I went to first time in a while. Post highlights about that. Lost 69-53. I mean, that was a game where I've never seen a Bulldog crowd not get into it, even at the start against the Boise State team. I think everybody who was there wasn't there for the baby race. Was there, it was 6,000 tickets sold. It was, if the team had done anything, really, they could have done something. They were capable of making noise. There was a loud cheer when the score announced that the Bulldogs had beaten Stanford baseball 15-4. But that was pretty much it. They had a rebounding advantage. Boise just outmanned us with all the injuries Bulldogs had. They had a rebounding advantage of 44-30, 70-70 on offensive boards, 11-4 and second chance points. We were also just 3 of 18 from 3-point range. When they were out, jumped on a 17-8 lead, right at 3-pointers, and that was just, all she wrote. We got down by like 50 to 45 minutes left to play, but I never, ever thought that the Bulldogs were ever going to win this game. That was just Boise State, barrage of threes, 8 3-pointers in the first half alone. That was not a lot compared to some other teams we've seen, and Boise is a better 3-point shooting team. But, that really has been one thing that's hurt the Bulldogs this year. Wyoming went on a 3-point barrage. This is a team that does not shoot the free very well. That one guy, Buchanan of Boise, just did whatever he wanted. So, maybe if they had, I've seen people say, maybe Zay Collins. I don't think Zay Collins would have made any difference. Zayon Collins, he's not that type of dude. He just isn't. Maybe if you have a point guard, direct traffic, something like that, but he's not a guy who's going to take over a game like we've seen Stickman, we've seen Gorey. He's the only real guy out there right now who I would say is a threat if I'm the other team. I'm not really worried about the Bulldogs centers. I mean, they're big, but they ain't fast. They ain't athletic. They can have a wingspan to stop you, but it's just, I mean, it's not as bad as last year. We had literally like nobody on the bench who could come in, but it is what it is. I mean, like I said, Gorey again led with 20 points, 11 rebounds, 9 or 20 from the shots. I mean, on the post-game show, they kind of talked about this, where he's got to be the guy leading them because they have no one else. But he's also the only guy who can really, really, truly make a difference. If Stickman was out there, that'd be another thing. Maybe, Reba's not much of a help. Some of these other freshmen that just, maybe next year they will. Heimbreder. Yeah, I mean, he's not really a difference maker. He's not a guy. I mean, he's not a bad player by any stretch of the imagination, but he's not a difference maker. He's not a guy that if I was on the defensive staff of the basketball team, I'd go, oh, geez, we got to stop this dude. The only guy right now like that on Fresno State is Gorey. All right? Everyone's going to focus all the attention on him. I've heard them say Zayon Collins might come back. It doesn't really make any bit of a difference. I mean, let's say the Bulldogs are facing, I don't know, they win the first game in whatever day that is, Wednesday, Tuesday, whatever it is. They beat, who knows, Air Force, Wyoming, whatever. And if you're facing Utah State, San Diego State, or whatever, are you really going to be afraid of the Bulldogs if they have Zayon Collins? That can make you go, oh, wow, the Bulldogs have Zayon Collins back. We're in trouble now. Now, okay, maybe Utah State, because for whatever reason, the Bulldogs play Utah State really tough. I don't know why. I'm neutral for them, but we do. So maybe, but if you're San Diego State, if you're Grand Canyon, if you're whoever, you're not afraid of them. You're just not. So if you're the Bulldogs, hopefully you can just, you're hosting San Jose State on this Tuesday. Last home game of the year. Hopefully it's a decent crowd. Hopefully you just get that win to get to 13 wins so you can have more than double the win total, because you're probably only going to get one more chance at a win after that. You're not going to beat Grand Canyon on the road unless Grand Canyon is just locked into wherever the position they're in, and they decide the rest of the starters for that game, because it's not going to matter whether they win or lose, and no point hurting injuries. That's the only way I can see it happening. And you might be able to win the opening game with everybody, the top 4 teams are playing it. But that's about it. You're not advancing after that. You're not advancing after the quarterfinals. It just is what it is. So right now in the year, the Bulldog basketball team is, I believe, let me check right here. I want to make sure I get this right. They are 12-17, 6-12 in Mountain West play. We're 10th out of the Mountain, 12 of the Mountain West. So yeah, if we somehow get through that first round, we're going to face the number 1 team, and that's probably going to be Utah State. And after that, who knows? After that, you're done, and start working on off-season. Coaching staff should be getting ready for it right now. On honesty, getting the off-season train all the way. Talking about who we should keep and so forth. Because they're going to be back next year. I'll talk more about why after the season is over. And I also mentioned in the topic description about this topic right now. This is a bit of schedule news related to Fresno State football, because in week 0, San Jose State and USC are playing. That's 1 week before the Bulldogs face the USC Trojans. And if you're a Bulldog fan, you might want to check that out, because both teams are ones the Bulldogs are playing with. I'll probably check some of that out, just in case there's a major injury or something that could impact us against USC or San Jose State, because USC should not need more than 10 plays to beat the Spartans. And if you're San Jose State, are you really going to throw in the kitchen sink against USC? I mean, obviously, Ken, the head coach, you're going to compete to try and win. But if you're down 28-3, are you really going to open everything up in week 0 against USC in a game you're probably not going to win at that point? All right. I mean, it will be a wash. If it's somehow a 1-point game, a 1-score game in the fourth quarter, that says way more about USC than it will San Jose State. All right. If it's a 1-score game in the fourth quarter, you as a Bulldog fan should be very, very happy, because that means you got a real shot to win this week. All right? I mean, for goodness sakes, we blew out San Jose State last 2 years we played them, even in even we weren't playing that hot. All right? There's no reason in the world why this game should be competitive. So if you're a Bulldog fan, the only reason you're watching to see if there's any type of, I wouldn't even say an exact playbook, because, like I said earlier, USC is probably going to be 10 plays offensively. I mean, you don't need to open a playbook when your tight end is 6'5", 200 plus pounds, who can, bully the secondary like no one else, or have a 6'6" receiver can just jump over catch fly balls or San Jose State, or have your quarterback run around their linebackers. I mean, you don't need a lot. So, it's just an interesting tidbit to watch your two common opponents play. Maybe you'll get something for the defense. I don't know. I think whatever you might gain defensively is fixed up by the Trojans. Week 1, week 2 growth, that's the biggest one in college football. San Jose State, who knows? We might see them just get their ass kicked and beaten up, and a bunch of players get injured. It'll make our job easier when we go to the Spartans. Never room for injury, but if the starting quarterback is out and this and that, it makes things easier for you. So that's just a little bit of football news to get us going. With spring training has started now, or just about to, for Fresno State football. Talk about more when it comes along. If I get to go to the spring game this year like I did last year, I will definitely record it for y'all. It's right around the corner. Baseball, barrel sports had a really good weekend. Softball went 4-0. This tournament in Stockton with another no-hitter to go to the program. Baseball team got their first series win over Stanford since 1999. I'll talk about that in another video. But yeah, outside of the barrel sports, doing good right now. Should give some more exciting to talk about. So just get through this basketball season, and we only have two more significant sports to get through in Mountain West, and then we are done. So, keep your chin up, Bulldog fans. Go Dogs as always.